any individual. Any type of question or answer that we provide to this is going to be a policy issue.
I agree, except to the extent that you talk about someone's job performance. I think it would be inappropriate to discuss that.
No interest to discuss job performance.
I think if the topic leads to that direction, we can all go to closed session.
Right, I agree.
I would say, after reviewing and listening to the evidence and testimony provided, and in an attempt to be consistent with the way the Commission has ruled in the past, that we need to allow the original 3 applicants to apply under their, allow those to be the only resumes and grant the resolution.
You kind of make that a recommendation?
That is my recommendation.
That only the 3 that applied would be eligible for the position.
In order to be consistent with other decisions that we've made up to this point, that would be the best way to move forward, and particularly, and let me finish, Mayor, if you don't mind, and particularly because the Commission had put such gravity on this situation that we wanted it filled, I'm happy to go and get that, or take that avenue to get it done.
Got a second for this?
I have I'm of 2 minds about this. I guess I will refute one aspect of that, which is that there's any precedent here, because there's been a precedent on the question of whether or not deadlines actually need to be met in the fire department is very muddy. There's definitely no clear precedent on that.
I'm talking about personnel issues where the administration has come to us in the past and said, let's get this done under the old system, and it was an important issue to get it done then. I see no difference between the 2 positions. And you're right, when it comes to deadlines in the fire department, it is muddy, and it's time to say the deadline must be met.
I can get behind that. I guess because I will note that this discussion of what constitutes a duty assignment as opposed to a promotion is kind of technical. We have 2 different definitions of promotions that are on the table. One is the layman's definition, the one that's described in Chapter 37, which is if you take an assignment that gives you more money, that's a promotion. I mean, and that's what most people. I mean, that's the way the common man thinks about a promotion. That's what everybody understands the reality of promotion to be. Now, then we have this other definition of promotion that makes it very clear that this duty assignment doesn't fit a different definition of promotion, even though it does fit the one definition of promotion. So all of that gets really muddy. My point being that we certainly weren't made aware of those differences until this grievance was filed. So I can't speak for anybody else, but when we were making a decision that when we were making our decisions regarding whether or not promotions should move forward under the old or new Chapter 40, I guess I just took it for granted that we were talking about the whole ball of wax, that the fire marshal decision wasn't included in that discussion. And so I would have expected our ultimate decision, our final decision, that this stuff should move forward. That the folks who had already applied should be, that their names should be kept in the hopper, and they should be, and those applications should move forward under the old rules. Then upholding this grievance, I think, would be consistent with that decision. Now, upholding this grievance creates another grievance. It creates a grievance from the folks, including the city employee and the Public Works Department, who's applied. That's something for us to be aware of.
Do we have
Those are just many thoughts. Other people, please sound off on this.
we had a motion, Commissioner Turner. You made a motion. You made a motion
Yes, I did.
to allow only the three.
You made a motion to grant you made a motion to grant the proper
proper-
resolution complaint.
To do what?
He made a motion to grant the proper resolution complaint, which would mean that only the three
Yes.
original applicants from
Be up to-
2011
Yes.
would be considered for this position at this time.
Okay, there's a second for that.
Mayor, could I add one thing, maybe?
So,
I know it's
so.
kind of late in the game, and
I gotta make a point of order. I don't think we can do that right now since we have this motion
Right.
out here. Not to cut you off, but just
No.
because somebody could come back.
Did we have a second for that? We don't have a second for that. Okay. Then we can, he can speak. Okay, we did not
Well,
have,
if the motion dies for lack
yeah,
of
it died,
second,
but I didn't have a second.
then is there any further discussion?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was happy to let the motion die for lack of a second so that we could hear,
Okay.
so that we could hear more.
The only thing I think that is worth mentioning here is that there were 3 candidates in July of 2011. Mr. Barnett did not reapply, so he's no longer interested. Mr. Frost has told the fire department administration that he's no longer interested, so in reality, when you limit that labor pool to the 2011 pool, Mr. Teese is the only candidate left. So,
That's good information.
I mean,
He said, that's fine.
you know, I always wonder, is this something that, I don't want to poison your decision-making process, I honestly don't, but it's a key factor, I think, and I felt like I had an obligation to put it on the table, and you can either ignore it as not being relevant, or you can take it into consideration as relevant.
I mean, I was going to bring up that one of the applicants had already withdrawn. I wasn't aware that.
I wasn't aware of that issue because it wasn't included in testimony, so thank you for not seconding me.
No, that's what he said.
Okay, now,
He said that.
give me a motion.
During our initial interview, this never came up. Then the second interview, I was told that they were contemplating not allowing me to have my paramedic pay, my paramedic incentive, which approximately, and I don't have any numbers in front of me, but approximately is around $6,000 a year. By taking that out of my pay, would pretty much knock out any raise I would get for the captain position. My statement to Chief Sloan, when he contacted me, asked me if I was still interested, my statement was, if that is the case, if you will not allow me to continue and have my paramedic incentive, it would not be financially feasible for me to take. And that was my option. I was never come back and given a clear answer on that. So as of right now, I still don't know what that answer is. So that being said, I probably would say I'm more on the fence than saying, no, I'm not, or yes, I am. I would like to know, I would like that to be clarified to me first before I officially say, okay, this is my decision.
Sure.
Does that clarify?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay, still need a motion to go into closed session.
Oh, really?
No.
No, we don't need to go in closed session, but we just need, is there going to be a motion on the
I mean,
problem resolution?
here's the rub for me. Here's where this is a catch. I agree that this situation is unfair, and like the last grievance, the last couple of grievances we heard regarding this very subject in regards to Chapter 40, again, we're kind of damned if we do and damned if we don't. People are going to be aggrieved either way. The situation is unfair. Again, this delay in large part has been pinned on the pending changes to Chapter 40, as in the fact that Chapter 40 took way longer than it was supposed to revise is kind of at the heart of this complaint as well. And I agree that that's unfair. But situation's unfair both ways. It's also unfair to the folks who have applied now, who have been going through who have already been going through this process themselves. They've been getting their hopes up. They've been talking with their families. They've been going through the same requirements. I think the fairest solution, fair or unfair, I think the fairest solution is to let the process move forward with all of the current applicants and any of the prior applicants who are still interested. Which is to say, I don't even know if, is your application in?
Yes, I did.
For the second round? Okay.
Yes.
There's an external one though.
Yes, well, this is just uphold.
It is what it is. I mean, if it is the city's policy to accept external applications, even when they're not posted externally, I mean, if that really is as common a practice as we're told, then then I don't think it would be appropriate for us to overturn that precedent.
So you want to put it in motion?
What you're stating is, I understand.
I guess I don't really have a motion then, because that's practically what's happening.
That's right.
That's practically what's already happening.
That's exactly what,
yeah.
you'd be upholding the city
Right.
manager's position.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll even agree that there's an unfairness to that. I just think it's unfair either way.
I'd support that too. There's two then would uphold the city manager's decision. Are there others?
Mayor, if I may, the only thing I would like to say is that, once again, there's a huge communication issue that exists within this department. People aren't being, I guess, aware of what's going on, even about the job itself, that you'll get to it when you have time as a chief, which is something different. I really just say let's not fill the position. Let's save the budgetary issues for the next year, and after we can fulfill the position August 1st of 2013.
You will uphold his decision?
No.
No? No. You know.
It's an interesting
Mr.
solution.
May?
On the city manager, yeah. Yes. But there's their motion.
We don't need a motion.
Don't need one. We
don't need a
Okay,
motion.
I'm sorry, I thought that's what you're asking.
I mean, here, and
If there's three here that in favor of upholding, if you don't have enough to overturn the city manager's decision, then everything stands as it is. And I think we've got maybe two. I think
He was
okay.
1, 2.
Okay. So
Is that correct, Commissioner Wilder? That you were a yes?
yeah, and I'm not entirely familiar with it, but I think the precedent we set really matters. And if we set a precedent whereby, well, just to give you an example, we did post internally for the sustainability coordinator position. And let's say folks had submitted applications. I don't even know if anybody internally did. So okay, so we did get, okay, this makes this a great example then. We had one internal submission for that particular position. I assume that post had a deadline on it, as they all do. A decision came down to not hire that position because it got taken out of next year's budget. So if we could set a precedent tonight whereby whenever that position does get hired, then even though the circumstances will have changed significantly by then, that we can't consider outside submissions, and we can't consider really anybody except for that one applicant, and that's just not a healthy I'm not making this about the sustainability coordinator, I'm just using that as an example of the precedent. I mean, I agree the situation's unfair, but the precedent we set matters significantly, in the long term for the city. And I just don't think that would be a precedent.
Okay, and we're ready for adjournment, are we not? I have a motion for adjournment.
Okay.
Got a second? A second. Okay, call roll.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who made the motion.
Commissioner May made the motion to adjourn and I second.
Commissioner Wilder,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Turner,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Mayor Graham.
Yes. So everything was,
There isn't any reason we can't.
they can apply if they want to.
To discuss that idea here.
And not just.
Yeah.
I like what you are.
There's a lot.